Hi everybody, it's MattHawes of The Happy Show. I'm here today with another video vlog. This video vlog is of a more serious nature than usual, and that's because I'm discussing the removal of one of my videos because allegedly it infringed on the copyright of Archie Comic Publications Incorporated. Now, I am taking a stand against this, and many of you will remember, if you followed me for any length of time, that I had a similar issue with Viacom. Viacom wrongly removed one of my videos. It was a video parody of reality TV called The Happy Life Real World, and or The Real Happy Life World. And this parody was a parody of reality TV in general, but had a play on the word real world within the title. Apparently that was enough to get Viacom's hunting dogs or whatever after the video, and they struck it for removal, and I fought it. And I fired off emails and such, as well as real snail mail letters to YouTube, to Viacom, and even to the Associated Press. It was reinstated once MTV's legal department researched and found that the video in no way violated their copyright. It didn't. It was parody. They didn't even use any of their materials. But, and this is key because with the Archie situation here, but materials can be used for a parody in order to make a certain point. And this is done all the time. It's done on late night television when you watch talk shows like Jay Leno, David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Kimmel, Craig Kilborn, whoever else was making late night talk shows or has made them. They use elements from news clips or from movies or TV shows or game shows, whatever, that they do not, or their parent company do not directly own. But because it's used for parody or satire, they're allowed to use that within that context to make their point. Okay? And South Park and other episodes, other television shows like those on Viacom's own Comedy Central and other places, they will sometimes use actual footage from other things for that purpose. Like, how many times have you seen them, speaking of South Park, actual images from, they'll place a character's face on something, or they'll make fun of a, song or what have you. It happens all the time, and that's part of parody and satire. It's protected for that reason. Archie Comic Publications Incorporated decided to remove my video parodying the death of Archie. Or actually, let me put it this way. Archie didn't die in the comics, and of course, most people reading Archie comics would never think that Archie Publications would do such a thing. The thing is, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and other publishers like that, they do these sensationalistic, exploitative storylines where they kill long-established, beloved characters in order to garner temporary increase in sales and attention through the news media. My video about Archie, I chose Archie because he'd be the least likely, you would expect this to happen to, and the least likely company you would expect to pull this kind of ploy for a marketing gimmick. And I decided to do a parody and satire, actually, satire of that. And I made it, Archie Andrews dead, or Archie Andrews has died, or whatever. And I made a whole fake news story, and it was real obvious. There's even mock covers I drew myself within there. It does use elements from the books because it's a parody, and it's just using that within context of a parody or satire, in this case it's both, to make its point. And so I don't know if they actually reviewed the video or what have you, but it was clearly marked in the tag that was a parody, and for whatever reason, though, they removed it. And I think we're walking a thin line. I know there's people out there who will argue, say, well, if you use any elements, then somehow they'll think that was wrong. No, then again, if you have to do that, you have to do it across the board. That means Saturday Night Live or any of these other places that use parody and satire can't use, like whenever they do the Jeopardy sketches, they actually call it Jeopardy, and they have a set made up to look like Jeopardy. And again, when these shows and such, they make these kind of parodies, that's just one example out of many. when they use these parodies and such, that's allowed because there's establishing a point within the context of parody, and people know it's a joke. And by and large, I figure most people would know that was a joke of Archie, and besides, it's a satire, and it's put out there. So this is like saying that the clips we see with Paris Hilton, that Paris Hilton should be able to sue everybody who makes a parody of her using news footage or anything, because does she own her own image? But it's for parodies, for the use of parody. So once we undermine this whole ideal of parody and satire by saying you can't use certain images and such, then you're walking on a thin line. I mean, it sounds like it might sound like it's over the top, but it's not, to believe that this could lead to the point where suddenly you can't criticize governments, you can't criticize politicians or religions, because God forbid you make fun of certain people or satirize and point out how silly things are, and you know, be in trouble of the corporations, the greedy, soulless corporations that out there that want to protect its bottom dollar instead of worrying about the rights of others. And this is again a case of parody and satire. I will continue to say it because it can't be stressed enough. In this case, I wasn't even taking any attack on Archie comics. I was actually using Archie again because it's a wholesome image that Archie presents as a rule. And of course, they wouldn't kill Archie Andrews. At least I don't think they would. And that was the whole point, was that people would see this and go, oh my gosh, this is so over the top and so silly. And it was made silly where it was over the top and silly. It was a mock news article. I still have, and I'll do this at the risk of them striking on this account, I still have it on this account too, which over here in the about this video or whatever description box over there, you will see a link which I will let you look at the parody and make your own judgment. They have not removed the one on the MattHawes account yet as of the time that I'm posting this video. But the one on the Happy Show channel, which was pretty much a mirror image, except for this one on this account, has me with, in it with the beginning of a vlog where I talk about the story that I'm acting despondent, like I just learned the news, and clearly again over the top. I'm going to fight this, of course. Just like with Viacom, I'm not going to sit and take this. There's nothing wrong with the video. It doesn't claim that I own their property. It's not making any profit off of their property. It's a parody. It is a satire of the industry of which I'm a part of, which is the comic book industry, and their shameless tactics. Now, I'm not saying Archie's. Again, I use Archie's characters to make the point just because they are the publisher that as a rule does not do that sort of thing. But it was a parody and satire of Marvel and DC and other companies' sensationalistic, exploitative way of trying to garner sales. And I used Archie to make that point because, being the character he is, it makes the point better than almost anything else. So, anyway, that's my video vlog for today. Let me know what you think. If you agree, if you disagree, that's fine. But I do want to fight this because, just like with the Viacom, we gotta protect our right to do parodies and satire. This is getting ridiculous with this whole copyright infringement thing whenever it overlaps onto videos that do not deserve it, or arguably do not deserve it. As I understand, there's people who want to argue against parody. Of course, most people who want to argue against parody are the ones that are afraid of being being parodied. Anyway, there you go. That's my vlog for today. And yeah, this is the day before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's celebrating out there. Bye. Yay.